And Pearson, the Roadster Tracker, and we are back with the game of Dwarf Fortress. Don't let the graphics fool you. This is actually a really sophisticated game. It is being updated to this day. Eventually, they'll have some kind of a graphical engine for it, but yeah, for right now, we just have to deal with tile sets and can kind of see what's going on. It is a lot of fun. Oops. And yeah, I don't know what else there is to really say about that. Making sure everything's looking fantastic, which it is. This is a really good day to be a dwarf. Now, let's make this full screen. First thing that we need to do is to pick an area, and I'm going to do kind of a tutorial type theme here. So you actually start out, we'll abort the game. First thing you'll do is create a world. You can just use the default settings, that's fine. Then you hit start playing. Dwarf Fortress is the Dwarf Fortress mode. And then this will take just a little bit to get started here. And the first thing that we're going to do is pick a spot. Now, if you're new to the game, the best thing to do is to pick a spot that is relatively, has good minerals. No aquifer is very important. And then you might want to pick it somewhere relatively secure. We probably won't do that option just because it'll be a little bit more fun to do something. But what you do is you start by hitting F. You can see down at the bottom of the screen here, F for find. I recommend a 3x3, and you can put in all of the parameters that you want here. So we're going to do high savagery. Evil's not important. Elevation, not super important. Let's have a flexstone layer. No aquifer. River doesn't matter. Yes to both shallow and deep metal, and we want at least, well, we'll ignore soil, that's fine. It's just needed for farming. It's not that big of a deal. There's lots and lots of ways. And so you can see here, this map is the entire world. This is a little bit more zoomed in. You can see that this C here corresponds to this one here. This little area here corresponds to here. There's all sorts of areas. And so this is looking and finding potential areas that it is causing to blink here. So let's see what we have of any interest. Okay. First thing is always the trick is to figure out where your cursor is. Oh, that's why. Haha. Okay, you can see the little yellow X here. That's where our cursor is. What is this R? Getting a decoder ring is of a lot of interest here, and that will kind of help us to decide. It looks like there's some kind of a fort here. This may be the elves. This definitely looks like an elvy type of area. But we're dwarfs, we don't do this tree nonsense. So we're going to go here in the mountains. The mountains tend to be more interesting areas. It's good if you can to get an area that is on a couple of different biomes. Where am I? Yeah, this is going to be a little bit tricky to navigate your way through. But that's okay. There we are. So I think we want to be kind of close to the road because it'll bring in more traffic, which is fun. I think this is looking like a good area. So you can see we're right here. We're by a mountain. So we're dwarves, so that's a good thing. But you can see there's a lot of different biomes in the area. We could even go for a 3 biome area. So this is our little mini map that will show what's going on. Then you use the arrow keys to get close. You use UKMH to move around the box. Little soil. It's like WASD, but in a different spot. How about right here? So we have 3 different biomes, although most of it is in one, so there may be some interesting things going on. Looks like we'll have some trees, untamed wild surrounding, moderate vegetation, no trees. That might actually be challenging, because the only thing you can make beds from is trees. So let's see. Still no trees. That may not actually be accurate. My guess is that little T here is a forest and that there should be something, but let's just keep looking around here a little bit. Woodland trees. I find it really hard to believe there's no trees whatsoever in that spot. Let's go right here. Seems like a good mixture. It has a little bit of woodland. Now, we're going to go take the original one. Right here. Perfect. Screw it. Who cares about trees? We are not an elf. So we are going to do this. And then you hit E to embark. So I'm playing with the noob pack, which has a lot of different things. We're going to prepare carefully. So you can choose a group of people here that you want to start out with. You can have return to game. You can take peasants. You can take different materials. Copper picks are always helpful. So we can add 3 is probably a good minimum. We'll look at the dwarfs though. We want 1 person who's a miner, I think. In fact, we want a couple of them. Getting the navigation of the keys is a little bit tricky with this, to say the least. We'll have a miner, woodcutter, carpenter. Seems like a good combination. Then we're going to have 1 person who is our doctor. So we're going to go down here to wound dresser, diagnostician, and surgeon. It is surprisingly difficult to find a doctor, so it's actually pretty highly recommended to get some decent skills there. We should give him something else that he can do when he's not doctoring. And what would be a good job for? We'll give him... you can give him all kinds of skills. Nice. We'll make him maybe a weaver? Sure. And a brewer. Dwarfs, they need their booze. I'm not much of a fan, but, you know, we'll go with that. Then let's go with... Actually, hang on. No, we'll keep doing this way. So you don't have to manually specify it. You can just take a group. But some of the key skills here are good. We'll get a good carpenter, mason, and a little bit of wood burning. It looks like we have 10 points per person, so we may as well use them all. Little mechanic skill can't hurt. We'll increase this person's mining skill. Mining is something you need a lot of. 238. Okay, so this does take some extra points, but you have 10 skills that you can apply per person. I mean, a lot of these people will come and go. Let's get a negotiator and a persuader so that we can get better trades. Liar is actually a skill. You gotta love this game. It's just, yeah. Grower. So this will be a farmer. He's going to be our chief negotiator as well. Excellent. We'll get a weaponsmith. And it's good to have a couple of masons. We'll get another miner. And how about a trapper? Hit the plus buttons here to do that. Animal dissector. This is going to be kind of our hunter. You can do a little bit of leather work. Actually, fishing doesn't matter because we're not going to have those skills. And a cook and a brewer probably as well. Yeah. Let's give this person a gem cutter, bone carver. This guy can carve stuff. And animal trainer. Okay. Sounds good. Now, if we look at the goods here, plump helmet spawn, so that'll allow us to plant some food, which is very important. We've got some splints, crutches, a wheelbarrow, which is handy. But we probably need some stuff. Let's give a hunting dog. We'll have a pair of hunting dogs. Actually, no. We'll go with just a cow and a calf. Oh, we don't have that many points left. Whoa. Yeah. Maybe we'll regret having such good characters. We can have a goose, maybe. So those would be animals. You know what? We'll have another battle axe. The anvils are a little bit hard to get. Let's get some more food as well. And then looks like we can't do that. Let's take a few rocks back and get another pack of... Oh, we can do better. Yeah, we'll get some more rum. Good. And let us embark. So, we are paused here. We have a little bit of trees. A lot more trees than I thought. It said there was no trees here. That's interesting. One of the first things that you want to do is to destroy your wagon, because we are not going to come back. You hit Q and then X, and that will be slated for removal. Excellent. Then let's take a look at where we're going to go. So what I like to do is I like to dig in a little bit to kind of have a fortified area. I think we'll start here. So we're going to designate... We'll chop a couple of trees just because we're dwarfs and we want to get rid of these trees and we like annoying the elves. It's lots of fun to annoy the elves. We're going to remove the ramps in an area so that we have a little bit clearer access to here, and it will help to keep people from just waltzing in here. And this is going to be the entrance here. Then we're going to hit D to mine, and we're going to drill out a little bit. This is probably pretty good. Let's go ahead and hit I. So you hit D to designate, you hit I to move up downstairs. You'll need to drill down a little ways. You definitely don't want to start out on the surface because we're dwarfs. And that should get us started. We can also designate gathering some plants, which is a good thing to do while some of our dwarfs will be idle, because they will be idle for a while. Let's chop down some more trees just to annoy the elves. Having some wood could be helpful. I'm also going to use the DF hack tools. We're going to enable auto labor because labor is just a real pain to do anything with, and it's just so much easier to not have to worry about that. So that's what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and start, and you can see the dwarfs are going to start to move around. You don't directly command them, but you can see that, hey, they're already starting to give our nice little entranceway so that we have something to start. We're probably... what kind of soil is this? So you hit K. For info, this is Mudstone Cavern. So I believe we can plant in this mudstone. So we're going to go ahead and dig a little bit of a farm here. Although we're not actually going to touch that yet. We'll get there though. So this farm, we could actually just drill straight out if we wanted to put another path in here, but it's generally speaking not a great idea to do that. Okay. There is a lot of trees. For an area that said there was no trees, there's a lot of trees. I'm glad I went with my instincts here instead of someplace that actually said there was trees. Not that having a little bit of trees is a good thing. Having none is much more challenging. But we're dwarfs. We don't want this many trees around. Okay. So one of the things we got to do is decide what level we're going to build on. I think this is a good enough level. So let's see here. First thing is a stockpile room. So we're going to go, if you hit shift and the arrow keys, then you will shift over by a factor of 10, which makes moving around a lot easier. Also, for note to go up and down in level, you hit the greater than and less than symbols. So we'll go ahead and let this be dug. You don't have to worry about cave-ins or anything like that, luckily. Unlike, say, RimWorld. So this is just going to become a big giant stockpile. And you can see we have a bunch of idlers. So let's have those idlers chop down some trees. Designate T, chop down trees. And we're just going to chop down a bunch of these. There we go. In fact, I'm going to go drop down a level so that we get the base of the trees, and it may... There we go. Get all those taken care of. Death to the trees. Say it with me, guys. Okay. We're going to wait for this to all be dug out before we start to really design anything. Because we only have 3 dwarfs that have picks, then it's going to take a little while. We'll have to get some more of those eventually. Wow, we got a ton of wood. Ton of it. Some other things that we'll want to do, we'll want to build a trade depot. Better to do this sooner than later. It's good to stick it somewhere close to your entrance. And eventually this will be fortified. Well, let's build it out of wood, so that way we can show the elves that wood is for structures and not for this weird grown stuff that they like to do. Here, I'll zoom in just a teensy bit. Weather has cleared. So our stockpile is growing good. Let's start designing our next level. So the next order of business is workshops. And I'd like to... a couple of different ways to do this, but I'd like to have a 2 deep hallway that's going to go around here. And then we're going to have a big room. The workshops tend to be 3 by 3. And so I'm actually going to have the room be 10 by 10. So one shy of the 10 that you get from shifting. And that will allow us to put in 3 workshops that will have space around them. So we're going to have these 2 rooms dug, and then we're going to put a couple of doors. And this will be plenty. In fact, just to save some digging time, we're going to only dig out 1 of these. Okay. The next order of business, after the stockpile and the workshop, is we'll get bedrooms set up. This is probably a lot bigger than we need for our real stockpile. Let's, yeah. I'm gonna leave the outline just so we can remember how big we want this to be. But we're going to cancel all of this. And then we're just going to mine 1 block. Okay. That should do it. And that will be the area that will be our initial stockpile. We'll probably do multiple stockpiles over our time here, but that's okay. We have a little piece of gems, so you can mine gems. If you look down here at the bottom, they have a designate all. You hit the A key. Auto mining ore gems is kind of fun. You set it up the same way, and then it will just start digging and then keep looking for metals or gems. You can see here, this dwarf will be doing that, and so that will allow you to dig through these veins and find them without having to finick everything. Now let's go ahead and set up the stockpile. We hit P, and we're going to set up a custom stockpile. This is just going to be kind of a big, giant dump. So we got to actually change the settings. We need... let's do... We're going to allow some barrels here. The barrels will allow you to bin things up easier, so they're easier to carry. We'll do the same thing with the bins. We'll put 30, which will be a lot, but it'll allow for some other stuff as well. And then we're going to allow for a wheelbarrow, a couple of them, to be able to take stuff a little bit easier than just dragging around. Now, what are we going to allow in here? Well, we'll allow any animals. We'll allow food. We'll allow furniture and siege armor. No corpses, no refuse, no stone. You can see this is just the various types of stone. We'll leave the stone where it is for the time being. Ammo's good. Coins, bars, blocks. Yeah, no. But we'll put gems, finished goods, leather, cloth, no wood, weapon, armor, sheets. That should do it. So now all of a sudden, as soon as I hit exit, we have no idlers, you'll notice up here, because they are all busy carrying stuff down here. Okay. So our workshop is being dug out slowly but surely. Meanwhile, let's start designing our bedroom layer. Now, our bedroom layer is going to kind of mimic the other area. Except for bedrooms, there's a couple of different ways to do bedrooms. But the important thing is you need a bed, you need a dresser, and you need a bag or a coffer to stick their stuff in, and you need a door. So you need 4 spaces for a bedroom. So one of the important things is to use a macro. Now, you hit Control R to start recording a macro. So we're going to start here, Control R, hit enter. We're going to move up 1, 2, 3, 4, hit enter again, and that's going to dig that hole. And then we need to move this to another position where it is useful. That's a little bit longer than we needed. You hit Control R again, and then you hit Control P, R for record, P for play, and it will dig these holes. Now, you start out with 7 dwarfs because what other number of dwarf would you start with? We have 6 there. We're going to need a 7th room. We'll build a couple of extras just so that they're ready. We'll give them X a square just to be luxurious, but you know, dwarfs, they don't need much space. Who cares? You know, bedroom's just for sleeping. They don't really care that much about the size of the room. So let's go take a look at what all of our dwarfs are doing. So they're going to be busy getting this wagon all emptied out. It's going to take them a little while to do all of that, but that's okay. We have 3 idlers, really. Why? So we'll go back down here. We'll hit Q, and we see that the settings are set right. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just need a little bit of R&R. Who knows? Who cares? They'll figure it out. They're keeping pretty busy, though. So our workshops are almost done. So we're going to hit B for building, W for workshop. Now, the key workshops to have early, you need a carpenter's workshop, so C. This will allow you to build beds and stuff like that. We'll make it out of schist. And that's the only one that we're going to do for now. We'll need a butcher shop, but you do not want to put the butcher shop down here. You want to put that somewhere close to the surface, because you got to air it out or else it'll have miasma, and the poor dwarfs, they just don't like that very much. So let's see, build workshop. We're going to go with the next one of interest is a mason workshop, M. This will allow you to build doors, tables, things out of rock. Because we're dwarfs, you gotta build stuff out of rock, right? Another key one. Those are the 2 most important. A craft dwarf workshop is a good place to build something to make goods for trade. You make like toys and mugs and stuff like that there. And then the other one that we want to get is, let's go with, we'll want to be making food and booze fairly soon, but we're not there quite yet. Let's go with a tanner's workshop so that way we can at least preserve stuff, the leather hide. Now, I'm going to try to play this without too many of the features other than auto labor and maybe auto butcher. We're going to need some offices here very soon. In fact, let's set this up. We need to have a manager. So nobody has any relevant skills, which is fine because who would do that? We'll have the doctor be a manager. The manager will set job orders and stuff like that. We'll see why he's important pretty quickly. The other one, well, chief medical will obviously set as our doctor. Oh, they require something. Oh no, that's because of the manager spot. You'll want a broker who's your best negotiator. He's going to make the deals, and then you want a bookkeeper that will count how much stuff you actually have. Nobody really cares here, so we'll have our ranger here be that person. So you'll notice that our manager and our bookkeeper both require something in order to do anything. And that specifically is an office. So we're going to dig them an office. Yeah. You don't have to actually do this nice But we're going to dig that up, and we'll put buildings in there shortly. Okay. How are we doing? Now, we actually have some stuff, so we can add a task, and we're going to build... Hit the plus key to select. We're going to build 2 doors. We're going to build 2 tables and 2 thrones, which are chairs made out of rock. And that's going to be for the offices. So those are pretty important tasks. The carpenter will make a bed just to show you that that's where you do that. The tanner, you could add a task here to tan a hide, except for we don't have any, so that's fine. We'll worry about that later. Meanwhile, let's get our butcher set up. And the way I like to do the butcher is we'll build a little hallway, and we're going to clear the ramps here. Remove the ramps outside of this area. And then we're going to carve fortifications in here if it will let us. Which it will not because it's mudstone. So we'll deal with that in a moment. But let's just dig this hole out. And we're going to have a second entrance in here for the short term. Which is fine. Make this a little bit bigger. In fact, we'll make this a little bit smaller like that. And we're going to put our butcher shop right here. But our butcher shop will be protected when we're all is said and done. Okay, looks like our dwarfs are starting to keep busy again. Good. They've lost a pick. Oh no. Okay, our bedrooms are being done. Let's go ahead and auto mine these gems. Yeah, who cares? Gems, it'll just make a prettier bedroom. What we're gonna do is build a door, and I like to use planning mode, which is, I don't think technically stock, but that's okay. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna record a macro, Control R, hit enter, move over to the left twice, and then that's gonna play. So every time we hit Control P, it does that same set of actions, and we'll build a bunch of doors. Now, this is actually not specific to what you set to build up, so you can actually just hit the bed and hit Control P. If planning mode was on. Planning mode seems to like to disable itself here, but we'll hit Control P and we'll build our beds. And then to give our poor idle dwarfs something to do, we're going to smooth their bedrooms. So this will make them look prettier. We're going to smooth the floor and the walls and all of that, and it will look fine. Okay. And we have no idlers again, you can see here. It's always a good sign. Having one is okay, but you don't want to have them for too long. They'll technically be idlers if they're, eating or something like that. So that's fine. Okay. Well, you can see we already have a bed. We can hit Q, and you go over to this bed and you hit R, and we'll make it into a bedroom. We hit enter and we're done. And we have an official bedroom now. So somebody's going to claim that sooner or later. We also need to designate these doors. So build door. Okay. And we're going to build a table in here because an office needs a table, a chair, and the door, it's optional, but it helps. So we'll build a table. gotta hit planning mode. And then we'll put the chair in here, which will be chair or throne. Whoa, we have a crash. First crash, whoop whoop. Dwarf Fortress does that sometimes. You can see my lovely desktop. Hopefully it won't happen too often. I don't know why this happened, actually. Usually when you get crashes, they're a lot more involved. So, start playing. Oh no! It didn't actually autosave at all, so we have lost our poor Dwarf Fortress completely and totally. That's okay. We'll go through this a little bit quicker this time. We'll see if we can get the same spot. I know roughly where it was. I love how the names are picked. So we went somewhere in this area. I think it was at the end of this river. We may not pick exactly the same spot, but that's okay. No, we'll just get somewhere along here. Pity, I like the start so far. The game is technically beta. Deep metal. It's kind of nice to look at it when it's not flashing as well, so yeah. We'll just go right here. Deep metal, flux stone. Deep metal, flux stone, little sleigh. Yeah, this will be fine. And then we'll just move this around. We're going to shrink the size of that to just a 3x3. Because that will be better for the purposes of the game. It gets a little bit crazy. We could do a river, but nah. Let's do like here. Yeah, I think this will work. Embark. And this time we're going to, let's see, 2 miners, grower, carpenter, doctor, hunter, cook, brew. That sounds good. And we've got all of the goods that we would ever need. Let's just go ahead and embark. Oh wait, we've got some points remaining, so we'll take some beer. And another pick. No, I don't have that many points. I don't care about a cave lobster, though. Well, cave lobster is for food, I guess. Doesn't make much of a difference. Would really love another. Yeah. This'll do, though. Yeah, well, I suppose we can get it. Well, let's take this down. Yeah. And one more copper pick. T, embark. E. Strike the earth. Okay. So what do we got here? So we have way too many trees again. Ooh, we have a little bit of water on the surface. That can be handy. Dwarfs normally don't drink water, but they use it to wash themselves off if they're sick. So I like the idea of chopping this tree right here and having this be our entrance. I like just the act of chopping the tree seems to really get the mood we're going for. So I like to do 3 wide, no particular reason. And then our butcher's place will be right around here. I'm not going to start carving that yet. We could do the fortifications. I don't think you need any special tools to do that. Oh wait, is this chalk wall? Interesting. Maybe you can't carve fortifications out of chalk. That would make sense. So we'll designate some stairs here. So we're going to go down a few layers. Not as far as we would have otherwise. And this is going to give us a little bit different of a path. So we're going to take 1 quad. Eventually we'll have a lot more, but this will do fine. And resume. So let's go ahead and chop some more trees just to give these guys something to do before we get stuff really settled. And we'll gather some plants. Okay. I mean, filthy plant eater, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. Lots of chalk. This is interesting. I think chalk is a flux stone which you use to make steel. I know marble is. Let's see here. Got a lot of wood. Still a lot of idlers, but that's okay. Oh, we want to deconstruct this thing. So we'll get that taken care of. What are the floors made out of here? It is chalk and silky clay. So we're going to have a hard time growing things underground, probably. We may be able to if we're in this biome that's towards the right and just can't do it where we're digging. So let's go down. Okay, this cavern is being dug. That's good. Let's go ahead and designate some more stairs. The next floor down, we'll set up our workshop. Actually, let's go down like 3 or 4. Okay. And then we're going to we'll just make the hall, yeah, we'll make a little hallway just because it seems right. Okay. And then we'll set one of our rooms that's 1 shy of the 10 that you get by shift clicking. And okay. We'll make a door that's 2 wide. And that should do it. All right. Good, we're getting this all dug out. So we're digging a hole. It's a song that Cool18 always likes to play when playing this game. Diggy diggy hole. I'd have to look that up. Maybe I'll try it sometime. I don't know. Okay, so we hit P for a stockpile. We're going to hit a custom one. We'll go ahead and set the custom settings now. So animals are allowed. So is food, furniture. No corpses, no refuse, stone, no, ammo, yes, coins, blocks, gems. Yeah, that's fine. Finished goods, leather, cloth, no wood, weapons, armor, sheets. So we're going to go ahead and designate this area as the stockpile. And we're going to exit out. Half and half. We'll put 2 wheelbarrows. We'll take from anywhere. Good. So we have no idlers all of a sudden. By pure coincidence. Okay, so while the workshops are going, let's go ahead and dig our bedrooms. We're going to go with the economical approach because our dwarfs, they don't really care that much. We're going to go, let's see, D, Control R, enter, 1, 2, 3. So that's going to be 4 wide, and then go to the next position, Control R again. So then we can just hit Control P every time we want a bedroom. And then we have a comb-shaped little fort here that will happen. Let's go ahead and designate this to be dug. So we'll dig a hole so that it's connected. So one nice thing, you can design rooms and not really worry about their future too much by just not allowing you to even start digging into it. Oops. Got to exit out so that it actually plays. I forgot it pauses when you're doing stuff like designating holes. And then we need our offices. No, we don't want this to be... Yeah, this will do. So... this will be nice enough for little offices. We'll probably put some of the other offices on the other side here. Let's get our nobles set up. We'll go with a manager. Oh, he even has organizational skills. Skilled diagnostician. You look good, and adequate record keeper sounds great. Clearly, these were designed with that in mind. Okay, we can build one of our workshops, which will be the very important mason workshop. Firelight, sure, doesn't matter. And then we'll also get the mason workshop set up. Now, one thing to note is the darker tiles here are ones that you cannot walk through. So you'll want to make sure to be careful with that. But we're building lots of space around, so it really doesn't matter that much for us. And that'll keep our dwarfs busy doing good stuff. Oh, we're even digging out some gems while we're doing this. Cool. That's always nice. Okay, next up we will build a... so we got carpenter, we got mason. We'll go with a craft dwarf workshop. That'll get our goods. And then we can pick one of whatever kind that we so desired next. Which you could, maybe we'll do a metalsmith forge here. Yeah. We have one anvil so that we can actually build it. Okay. We'll do things a little bit different than we did last time. Not that there was a last time. So they suspend. Wait. Item blocking spots. Huh? Construction suspended? Well, why'd you do that? That's okay. So we'll eventually be able to do more once we have a manager, but for the time being, we have to manually specify every task, which is annoying to say the least. But we'll get a chair, we'll get a table, and a door. And now that we've dug these out, we can build a door, and we're going to build the door in planning mode. So you hit capital P. I think that is not stock, but it's with the lazy noob pack. So we're going to put the doors here. So it's just going to build a door there when it has one. We'll build a table here. Same thing, planning mode. And a chair. Or throne. The only difference between being one's made out of wood and one's made out of stone. But yeah, who likes wood? It kills me that you cannot build a rock bed. It just seems so appropriate, but for some reason you have to build those out of wood. It's like the only thing you have to have wood for in the entire game. But that's okay. Okay, we're getting that dug out. We have a couple of idlers. How does our stockpile look? Ooh, look at that. Nice and pretty. I do want to see if we can... Well, I want to remove some of these ramps just to make it a little bit harder for enemies to come up and down in this area. Eventually we'll build more better fortifications, but that's okay. This will do for now. And let's build a trade depot. We'll build it right here just to even use the wood just to show the elves that we care. Because we're kind like that. Okay. So looks like we have one table and chair. We'll hit Q. And we're going to come over here and we're going to use the chair. We're going to hit R, make this a throne or study. We're going to assign it to our manager. Same thing with here. Make a throne or study. Assign this to our bookkeeper. And if we hit N, you can see that there's no longer any red. These guys have met their demands. They're looking good. So, yeah. Now we can actually start doing jobs. So if you hit Q, not Q, it's a J. Then hit M, you go into the job manager. So we're going to specify some jobs. We're going to specify bed. We're going to hit 0 for a perpetual order, but we don't really want to build these perpetually. So we're going to add a condition. You hit C. Then add item condition, A, hit N, and we're going to say that there's at least 2 beds really one bed available. Then we'll go ahead and construct this. We're gonna check this once a day. So maybe, well, we're early on. Let's actually set that number to 2. And then that will do. Then we're gonna add a new order for doors. We're gonna make it a rock door. Same thing, 0 perpetual order. We're going to add a condition. And for doors, we're going to say that there's at least 2. Because we're going to be building a lot of these. So bed, doors. Let's go ahead and set... let's build toys. I like toys. Rock toys. Same thing, 0 perpetual order. This will be done at the Craft Dwarf workshop. We're going to add a condition. We're going to say that we want at least 50 toys. This will be to sell to caravans and whatnot. Although if we have any kids in the fortress, then they will go ahead and do that. And let's add another order of... Let's do tables. 0 and condition. We'll add 2 for these, and the same thing with chairs. Except for they're called thrones for a rock throne. I guess if you put it like that it's like a metal throne or a rock throne, then maybe that does make more sense. Condition add N2 as well. Okay. So that should get started with some of that. Now, let's go ahead and set up our building here. We're going to build a door. And check to see that planning mode is on, which it is. Good. We're going to record a macro, so Control R, enter, up, Control R, and then this will allow us to paste the doors. We're going to do the same thing with a bed. Planning mode is off, so Control P. And that will get all of our bedrooms placed. So if we look at your jobs, a lot of stuff that is suspended because we don't have the parts, but we should be building the various parts that we need. Should be going good. I'm used to using the one that comes with DF Hack, the workshop mod, but we're not going to use that because there is a stock feature that will do that. So we're looking fine. 4 idlers. Let's go ahead and get the next order of business, which is a kitchen, a dining room, and a dining hall. Whoops. Now I'm hoping that we'll find some interesting veins, because that would be a good way to do this. But we're going to build a kitchen. Actually, designate, mine, auto, mine the gems. So we're going to mine these and see what we come up with. And the dwarfs are already at it. This will all be one giant dining hall. Except for I gotta change it back to designate all. It will be a couple of entrances. Let's see, 21, so let's put every... Yeah, this feels about right. And then if we have any gems, we'll just dig it out and have that kind of be part of it. Gems or metal. Because we're dwarfs, this kind of stuff comes first. No bedrooms yet. Offices look good. We are keeping busy. Some more orders. Job. Manager. We want a new job. So queue for a new order. We want barrels. We can make the barrels out of wood. That seems an appropriate thing to do. 0. We want condition. Add. I think we want at least 3. Whoops. Delete. And 3. And then same thing with bins. The bins can also be made out of wood. I know it's elfish to do such things, but you know, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. In 3. Looking great. Now let's get our butcher set up. That is important to get set up pretty early. Now we need to have a couple of vent holes in the form of some ventilation shafts. Fortifications work really well for that. Excuse me. Whew. Now since we can't carve the fortifications, unfortunately, then we're going to have to actually dig this out. So we'll dig this out. Or replace it with fortifications that we're building on our own. As long as we don't do wood fortifications, it should be fine. Oh, it looks like there's some chickens. Wonder if those are our chickens. Probably are. Another good thing to do is to designate a zone for like trash and such. We'll call this a garbage dump. So we'll hit D. And then you can also specify pens and pastures and stuff like that. I suppose we can designate this as a water source too. No? Huh. Maybe not. Yeah, I don't think it's really that important though. Okay, we're starting to build doors. Now, how about the beds? We should have an active job for... Wait, did I built 2 masons shop. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, well... Sure somebody noticed that, but that's okay. Let's go right here. So we're going to have to crack open this a little bit sooner. We're going to have to put in... Having 2 mason shops won't be horrible, but that's okay. We need a carpenter shop pretty early on. And we'll also designate this. So the carpenter shop will build our beds. Yeah, we'll leave the copper in the wall. That'll be fine. Is it copper? What metal is this? Oh, it's a gem. Yeah, we'll leave the gems in the wall. Looks like he's sleeping. Yeah, we need to get these guys some beds. You know what? We're gonna go ahead and deconstruct this. Next, remove building. It'll be fine. It'll be just fine. Look at that heavy rock carrying. Okay. Building workshop for a carpenter. Okay. That should be built pretty quickly. I know having this big of a room seems like a luxury, and maybe it is, but it's always nice to have a good place to eat. So we're going to go ahead and set up some of these tables. Now, dwarfs are a little bit funny that they will only one dwarf can actually eat at a table, so you have to kind of space them out like this, and you can't build like a big giant table. They won't span over multiple things, but it'll still be fine. You can just picture it in your head like it's one big combined table. Let's go ahead and zoom in just a scooch. Okay, good. That's nice, but let's make this the higher priority. We're going to promote the beds first. We need those first. I'm actually gonna start making a couple of little stockpiles. So we'll build a little wood stockpile here. P. Wood. So just to help make their life a little bit easier, for the dwarf, craft dwarf, we'll put a stone here. So they'll keep stones around, and same thing here. That'll make their lives a little bit easier. And that'll also help to kind of clean out things a little bit. How's the toy factory coming? Looking good. Still no idlers, excellent. It'll be nice when we have some beds, but those are coming soon. We need to get our kitchen developed. Let's do this. We may eventually need a big kitchen. So we'll make it this big. So it's going to be that big for the cooking of food. And then for the brewery, we'll put it on this side. That'll work. We'll let that get dug out. And once we have that going, butcher, how's that looking? Still have not started it. Which is fine. No idlers at the moment, that's good. Lots and lots of animals. Stray dog has been found dead. That's interesting. They've been missing for a while. Well, something obviously killed it. But that's okay. Oh, look! We have our room. So let's go ahead and designate... well, hang on. Building door. I'm going to put these in planning mode just to make the room designation a little bit easier. Okay. Then we're going to take the most center one, make a dining room, and we're going to keep hitting plus until it covers the entire thing. And we're also going to make this a meeting hall. Eventually we'll make this fancier, but we're not there yet. Workshop. We're gonna build one food cooking. It looks like it would actually be better here. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. We'll put it on this wall though. We'll put it like this. Out of Nice. Nice. However you pronounce it. You learn so much about the different types of rocks in this game. Oh, good, we have some beds. Okay. So we're going to go here. Control R. Then hit R. Enter. Move up. Control R to finish recording it. And then we're going to start making a few bedrooms. Dwarfs are going to be so happy that they actually have beds. They're not going to know what to do with themselves. We're just spoiling them. I mean, who has beds? Yeah, I know, right? Let's go ahead and dig this side out. We should probably have a stockpile for the food here somewhere, but yeah, we'll get there. It's not that important at the moment. Ooh, a nice gem deposit. This one I think we will dig out. So D, auto mine. Okay, and we'll build ourselves a workshop for brewery, which is totally blind at the moment. Still. Oh, we'll put it over here. Make it nice. Now, job manager, we're going to have brew. Brew drink from a plant, sure. This will be a perpetual. And the same thing with another brew drink from fruit. Add in the condition to have at least 50. Same thing here. Yeah, I think that will do. Then we're going to have another order for food. Cook. Well, let's see what those orders look like in the kitchen. prepare. So meal. So we're going to add in our job. Meal. We'll try to do fine meals. And prepare. Let's add in 50. And then we'll add in a condition for a just easy meal. Make sure there's at least 30 of those if we cannot do anything else. So yep, that should do. I think this will be fine. Hey, all of our chickens are down here. And dogs. Now that we have a gathering area, then that can be helpful. Almost have enough beds. We'll wait. Look at the organization of this. This is so nice. I think... Actually, let's have a wheelbarrow for each of these stockpiles. Because that will take a lot of goods. In fact, let's build a couple of wheelbarrows. Job manager... Q, wheelbarrow. We'll make them out of wood. Condition add just one available. Okay. Looking fine. Let's see what this is. Citrine cluster, so it's a kind of gem. That's fine. We still don't have any idlers. As soon as we do, then we're going to have these guys smooth. But while they're keeping busy, which they're keeping plenty busy, let me tell you, then we'll let them do their thing. I bet you that if we go up here, yep, we have built this. So we're going to build fortifications. How do you do this? It's like walls, capital C, and then we'll hit fortifications, capital F. So this has a little bit different of a building placement. It's similar to how you selected the 3D or the little location, the U, L, J, M keys. So we're gonna build this here. Can build it out of chalk, sure. Seems weak, but it'll be fine. And then build a workshop for a butcher up here. If I can see it, butcher shop is you. We'll build it right here out of chalk, sure. So then we can butcher our animals if we need to. I think we might need to upset some elves a little bit more. The trees, they're encroaching, man. We got to keep them at bay. The world building that goes into this game is incredible. What's the table job look like? At least 2. Why do we have more than 2 tables in our... whatever. They're getting moved around, so they're fine. Pie ropes. Oh, we got some toys. Nice. Very cool. Okay, we don't have any plants, so let's go ahead and gather some plants. We got a few idlers. So designate plant gathering, which is P. We're just going to select a pretty wide area. There we go. We'll get rid of all of those nasty, nasty plants for you. Oh, I don't know that we're going to be able to have an underground forest or food source. Let's just dig. It's all chalk. K is the key I'm looking for. Well, we'll see what we can do. What is... Oh, I hit caps lock. It's like something is not working like it's supposed to. I had hit caps lock. Whoops. Silty clay. Okay. Clay is something we can build... But there's not going to be a lot of good opportunities because of all of this chalk. But silty clay would be good to build a farm. Let's just dig a fairly deep tunnel down here. A little bit exploratory to see what kind of good stuff there is here. Oh, they're eager to start digging. We're looking for a place to set up a farm. It looks like we'll have some possibilities. Good. So you tend to want to do that fairly close to the ground level. You can actually build outdoor farms, but the dwarfs, they don't like to do that for some reason. I don't get this. Yeah. It's alright. Good. This'll do just fine for a farm. So to build farms, they're similar to how you build walls. We do have a lot of jobs to go pick stuff, so okay. We'll see how this goes. Always helps when you don't accidentally forget to pause when you're, or unpause when you're, you know, trying to build a structure. Good. This is looking like a really nice place. Oh, good. We have a liaison from the mountain homes. Let's discuss your situation. There's much to share. So we have some new civilization world info. What requests do we want? I don't think there's anything that we really, really want. So, okay. So they want thread figurines, quivers. Somebody really wants quivers, anvils, crutches. So maybe we'll make some crutches and some quivers. Now hang on. So we're going to move goods here. We're going to move anything. We're just going to do a search. Whoops. Hang on. Move goods here. We're going to select anything that is fine. Finished goods bin. So we can have that moved. It looks like it's only going to be the one toys. S. Toys. So we have some loose hammers. We're going to move them here to a trading depot so that we can do this. Let's hit all. See if there's anything else that looks... that's probably going to be good enough. We're not going to be able to trade a lot of stuff here, but that is to be expected. So we got to get all of our goods here. We'll let the dwarfs take care of that. It's a fairly high priority task. I think it should be moved. Okay. Looking for the dwarfs to start putting stuff there. There they go. Now you can just have a bin to move it all at once, and maybe we should do that. But that's all right. Now we're going to bring the broker in place. So we're going to request the trader, who he's going to show up there. And then as soon as he gets there, then we can do our trade. Might take the trader a little while to get here though. Sometimes it does, so that's just fine. Okay, here we go. So we only have a couple of things that we can trade, and none of them are worth that much yet. Which is not a huge surprise. What could we take that we would like? So, some things that you may want are... I like to do like cloth bins. 300 though, that's probably too much. We don't really have a lot of booze. Escape cancel. So let's try... We can get a beer barrel, sure. We could get cloth. Maybe we don't get the full bin, but we just take a little bit of cloth here so that we can make some goods. Cloth is a real pain to make, so having some can be helpful. Maybe some gypsum. Actually, this is yeah, we can't trade that much. Which is fine. We'll take some of the cheap cloth. We gotta go bargain hunting because we just aren't that skilled yet. And 51, okay. Cave seal, sure. Then what else may we want? Well, do they have another pick by chance? Yeah, but they're way too expensive. What about some gypsum? Plaster bag. That's 60. But it could help us to get our hospital. Yeah. No, let's get the gypsum. We'll do without that. The trader's still probably not going to do this deal, so let's look for some other cloth, and we'll deselect a little bit. And let's see if he'll do this. So to try to trade, you hit T if you're not on the search mode. Okay, done. So move goods here. We still had some pending stuff, but that's okay. Only a couple of toys. That's fine. They probably weren't worth that much. So let's unrequest the trader here, and we're done. First trade successfully conducted. Nothing too fancy, but it should help us to go for a little bit longer. Which is all we can really ask for. So we don't have the butcher set up. Okay. We do have the farm set up, so let's build the building, and then if we look down towards the bottom, maybe it's not the bottom, bridge. You can build the road, which can be fun, but I don't know why you would want to. Farm plot, P. Then we'll make this bigger, similar to how we did with the walls. And one big farm plot. Let that be built. So we should be able to start getting some better goods out of that. Some better food. But they're keeping busy. They got to empty out our trade post of goods. We still have a lot of food that's designated to pick, so that's fine. Our offices are looking decent. We have a full set of bedrooms. So we'll go ahead and set the macro up to get these all built. Beautiful. Now maybe we'll start to add in some extra stuff at some point in time, but I don't really see the need to hurry. We'll probably do that next time. Ooh, we got a miasma cloud here. Why? Something die? Well, let's go jump up to our butcher. You do have this built, right? Looks like that was suspended. Was this suspended as well? No. Okay, we are getting our hole patched up. Eventually, we're going to build a door here. It is in the form of a bridge because bridges make the best doors, apparently. But, yeah. Out of curiosity... there's no merchants trading right now. Then why do we... Oh, those must be the goods that we bought. We just haven't had a chance to take them in. Yeah, we're really, really starving for labor. We probably shouldn't have picked as many plants as we did, but yeah, whatever. It's okay. Still have the miasma cloud, huh? Rotten wombat corpse. Okay, so let's do this. We'll build a refuse, like right here, a stockpile. This is just going to be for all the garbage that we don't want to deal with. So that should get the wombat taken care of pretty shortly, I hope. Started to rain. Oh no. These dwarves aren't going to know what to do. What is this, a rain? I love how they made that even with the ASCII art. Okay, the wombat corpse is here. I believe that's what this is, right? Yep, rotten wombat corpse. Now, did we get our butcher? I don't know why that keeps getting suspended. Just bad luck, I think. Okay. So we do have the farm plot now. We're going to set up just a rotation of plump helmets just to make sure our food supply is looking good. A, B. So every season you can set up a new rotation, but we're just going to start with plump helmets because that's what we got. Oh good, they're moving all of the bones there too. That's handy. What kind of berries are these? Cloudberry? Okay. Water buffalo and yak is starving. Uh-oh. So we need to designate a grazing zone for those guys. So we'll do that here. And this is going to become a pen pasture. And then we're going to put in just the grazing animals. So let's hit capital G for the grazing animals. Okay. So they're going to be assigned to there. And so they'll be able to eat grass. Very important to do, and it's easy to forget. Yep, bringing them up here. Excellent. Now, you can keep them indoors once you start to plop some of the higher layers. If there's different cave layers that are below here that eventually will pop, but we're not there yet. Wait, what just happened? Some migrants have arrived. Oh my. Let's see how many we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a chicken. So we got to check for our grazing animals. No new grazing animals, but we got a couple more migrants. So now we're up from 7 dwarfs to 12. You can see that they're not happy, but not unhappy, which is perfectly fine for now. So do we have enough bedrooms for all of them, first of all? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Nope. Not a surprise. I think we're going to reserve this for the big bedrooms, for noble bedrooms and stuff like that. Let's do another 2 hallway. We're not going to do anything super fancy. And then let's see here. Same thing, we're going to record a macro. Enter 1, 2, 3. Enter, and then reset back to our new spot and hit play a bunch of times, and there we go. And we're going to drill a little hallway down here. All this just to have 1 extra bedroom, but that's okay. We're going to need the extra one soon. Let's also, while we're at it, we'll add an extra little bit of ability to do things here. We still don't have any idlers, which is good. Let's expand our dining hall. Whoops. Let's see. Build. Keep hitting caps lock. This is not... What was I playing before? Dyson Sphere program, where you hit caps lock. Okay, so we'll make a few more tables. Always good to have more. Yeah, we're looking pretty reasonable. So pretty soon our dwarfs will have beds and we'll have lots more. Always good to have more migrants. So we're going to build just 1. We'll build a couple of doors and then a couple of beds. Let those get designated. But nothing too much. Looks like we're already starting to use up some of our stone that's getting everywhere. This is good. We'll get the rest of them designated soon, but we need one more bedroom. Do all of these have owners? Nope, they don't have ownership. That's okay. Why do we have so many tables? Hang on. Job manager. No limits? Oh, that's how many workshops. Okay. Condition if there is at least 2 available. Change trait, material number. If there is at most 2. Huh. Then how were these not active? What? Change the condition. Is not 2, is at least 2. Okay. I don't know. Maybe my manager's just doing a horrible job. Look at this. We have a whole bunch of tables. Yeah. Well, we'll figure that out later. I think this is a fine time to quit for the night. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Let me know whatever questions or comments you guys have. I'll export this over to my YouTube, and thanks for everything. Appreciate you guys so much for stopping in here and watching me make a fool out of myself. Until next time, keep on tracking. Take care, guys.